Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Jen and this is Farabee. Today we want to talk to you about continued training with your dog. So just like we are constantly learning, our dogs are too. So it's really important to constantly enforce good behavior. So that means continued training. So this goes for any dog, not just service dogs. So you always want to keep their skills sharp. So even if you have a pet dog instead of a service dog, you still want to keep their little memories sharp and make sure they're using what they know. So take time to do tricks with them often, take time to teach them new things if that's something you're into, but just don't let them be stagnant and not use what they know. So when it comes to service dogs, working on things in public is really important and working on things in new situations. So anytime we go to a new setting, like a new type of a place, we always work on the basics there too. It's also helpful to keep training whenever you get new gear, so new shoes, if you have new sunglasses, different shapes, you know what I'm saying, like things that would be different to them. If you're switching from maybe a vest to a cape or vice versa, if you're working in a harness rather than a vest or a cape, anything that would be a change, because all those little things change the way your dog perceives what's happening. So if you put shoes on your dog, a lot of times they're like, whoa, what do we do now? They don't know how to do anything, and it's amazing. So always continue their education if you change anything up that's on them physically. A great way to do this is by keeping a list of what you want to work on. So I have training journals, of course. I'm sure you guys, if you've watched before, you know that, but I will link them below for you guys. There's a lot of great ideas of things that you can work on that will be new to you things. Also, that's a great place to track what you want to work on in the future. So keep training interesting. So make sure you're providing whatever type of reinforcement they like. So that might be toys, treats, just praise, whatever it is that they really enjoy. Make sure you're keeping it interesting by having a lot of that. And if they like treats, then switch up the treats. Make sure you're using high value treats. So think things like freeze-dried buffalo lung, freeze-dried things that are like a single ingredient treat are really good. Farabee really likes that type of stuff. She also really likes those treats we use a lot, the full moon chicken ones. I also just got her some lamb ones at the grocery store a minute ago. She pretty much likes any treat. It doesn't matter to her, she likes anything, but some dogs are more picky and they need a more high value treat, especially if you're going to be into a new situation. That's when you really bring out the high value treats, you know, as a extra like incentive for them to pay attention. Come around. Good job, yes, good girl, yeah. Another way to keep it interesting is by adding new things. So you might add a new place, you might add for them to maybe put their paws up on something instead of just jumping up. Maybe you want to add a pause there. Maybe you want them to be able to do a heel on both sides. So that's something we're working on now. I like for her to be on my left side, but whenever you're walking on a trail, like it kind of goes the same as like a road, you know, like, so then she's on the outside of me. And I don't really like that. I would rather her be on the inside of me whenever there's people passing by with kids particular, or of course other animals. So I have been teaching her about walking on the wrong, I call it switch is what I call it, but it just means walk on the other side of the heel. But my word for that is switch, and then switch back means to go back over. Switch. Switch. Good job. Switch. Good girl. Come on, all the way. Good job. She's getting good at it. So we're working on Farabee switching sides. Because I decided it was a good idea for her to know how to do a heel on both sides. So this is it. It's her wrong size heel, but we call it switch. So, and I'm trying to make that be a whole trick, so to speak, in itself for her, so that she can distinguish, you know, you are always supposed to be on my left side unless I say switch, and then if I say switch, then you're over here and kind of waiting for me to tell you switch back, because I don't want that to be her default. I don't like that for her as a default. That's the side that I use for everything. I like for her to be on my left side, but there are certain situations where I have found this so helpful lately. So that's something we're working on. So keeping your dog's training interesting can just be little things like that, where you just maybe switch where they're walking, or maybe you let them get ahead of you a little bit and then call them back, or maybe you tell them to sit and stay and then you walk maybe to the end of their leash, which in our case is not very far, but then I tell her okay, and she has to come and get beside me. So anything like that is still like keeping your dog's mind active. Although it's super simple, they still see it as a game a lot of times, and you can enforce this with treats. So make sure you're always praising your dog, giving them lots of attention, lots of treats, lots of toys, whatever it is that makes them excited to learn. Make sure you're doing a lot of that whenever you're training at all, period. I'm a big fan of treats. Like, I am a treat pusher. I don't like to work for free. That makes me mad whenever I don't get paid. And I feel the same way about therapy. I don't want her to feel like, oh wow, I'm sitting here doing all this stuff and then, there's no recognition for it. I also think she does enjoy doing things to make me happy, but I think it only goes so far. Like, I want her to know that she is appreciated. And so I know her currency is food. She really likes food. She likes treats. So to me, that means a lot to make sure that she knows that, hey, I value you. And not only I know you're doing this because you want to and you love me, but also everybody wants to get paid. So I just like to make sure that I'm rewarding her in some way. She doesn't get a treat for every single thing that she does, but I would say probably about 50% of the time she does get a treat. And whenever we're in a new situation, like I said, if we have new shoes for some reason, anytime she gets new shoes, we have to break them in. And so that's a whole new process for her. If we changed anything in her routine or a location, I always make sure to treat every time, and just randomly treat because she's being good, because I want her to be excited. So with her being a service dog, there's often times where she is catching something and I need to know that. And I might not have a treat right then, but because we've practiced it so many times, she's confident that a treat is coming and she'll tell me, whatever I need to know. And I think that's maybe not everybody's cup of tea. I know a lot of people say don't do treats at all, phase it out after they're a puppy, but I don't know. I just look at it like I want her to feel special and rewarded, and I want her to feel like she's being paid. So keep training fun. Make sure you're engaging with your dog. Make sure you're if they like toys, provide toys. If they like treats, provide treats. Whatever your dog wants, reinforce with that. Something important to remember is if your dog is not catching on to something you're trying to teach them, move to something they do know. So you can work on something they don't know, but then move to something they do know before you end. That way they feel successful. So let's say you're trying to teach them something that might be really complicated and it's just not clicking. Do that a few times and then move on to something they know, and do something they know several times before you end training. That way they feel successful. They feel like they've accomplished what they were wanting to do, and then you can work on the harder trick next time. I hope this information was helpful to you, and I hope it inspired you to do more things with your dog. I'm gonna link a subscribe button up here, I'm gonna link a training playlist here, and I'm gonna link a video just for you here, and we will see you soon. Bye guys.